Hi everyone, it's Monica and welcome back to Tailor-Made Cards for You. Well, today I'm here to help Janie, the Craft Princess, celebrate her 20th subscriber milestone on YouTube. And I'm participating with about 9 other crafters that are helping her celebrate. Now there's going to be links to the next person in the lineup, so you're going to want to make sure that you check the video description box below. There's also going to be a chance to win some amazing prizes along the way. Some of the prizes are going to be available internationally and some are just for the United States. So please, when you are making your comments, mention if you are from the US or from out of the country. Now, to be entered into the giveaway, you must be at least 18 years of age and a subscriber to our channels. So make sure that you leave a comment along the way. And if you think that you've missed a video, you can always go back to Janie's blog to get the entire lineup. Now you have to leave a comment by Sunday, August the 18th, 2020, and then the winners are going to be announced on August 21st over on Janie's channel. So let's go ahead and jump into what I'm going to create today. Now this card is going to be a friendship card, and I was inspired by one of the videos over on Janie's channel, and I'll make sure that I link that below for you. I'm using a couple of digitals. One of them is from my shop, and this is a digital from a 1915 calendar, and it had a little quote here, the value of a friend. So I thought I would go ahead and create a friendship card, and I wanted to show you how easy it is to use digitals to create quick and easy cards. I'm also using a printable from another company called Victoria Designs, and she also has some wonderful digital images. So I'll make sure that I link to this as well. Now, some of the other product that I'm going to be using today are some paper dolls. So I just kind of grabbed some paper dolls that I thought would be fun for friends. And then I'm also going to use this small talk from Tim Holtz Ideology. And then finally, as an embellishment, I'm going to use some of this vintage lace that I had in my stash. So let me go ahead and cut everything down, and then we'll go ahead and put this card together. And I want to show you how easy it is going to be to put it together, a friendship card. Okay, so once you have everything cut out, you want to go ahead and just kind of figure out what pieces are going to go where. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make 2 cards here. So I've got my base, which is a 5x7 card, so I usually do increments of 1/2 inch. So this would be 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So you just want to go in, or excuse me, 1/4 inch each time you do a layer. So I'm going to go ahead and just figure out my layers here. Now this particular one, I knew I didn't want to do it light on light, so I'm going to go ahead and frame this. And this is actually a little bit bigger than I want it to be, so I'll glue it and then I'll trim it down. And then we'll leave some of the embellishments for the end. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is if you are going to use little characters, you want to be somewhat strategic when you layer your friend sentiment to make sure that you can show the entire sentiment. So we'll keep that in mind when we're putting the card together. Okay, so the glue that I'm going to be using is this 3-in-1 beacon, and I'm just going to go ahead and just start some of my layering. Now, if you want to distress your edges a little bit more, you can always use this distresser just to fray up the edges a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and then you can use a distressing tool along with some distressing ink, and ordinarily what I use is walnut stain, and I've got a little bit left on here, so I'm going to go ahead and add that to my edges. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and add our glue. Make sure I get this the right way. And I'm going to go ahead and just glue up the edges. as well as the inside. And we will place this down. Now, another way to have your card look a little bit old is you don't necessarily have to have all your edges glued down. Some of them can be up curled a little bit. So keep that in mind when you are placing your paper. You may not want to have your glue all the way to the edge if you want to do some curling. And then you can also have some tears in your paper. So don't be afraid to add a little bit more aging to your paper if you want it to look a little bit older. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and glue this down as well. Now, one thing that people make a common mistake of is when they want to age something, they'll just wrinkle it. And that's not necessarily the best way to make something look aged. You know, you can certainly bend it, but you don't want to just wrinkle it up because that just looks like a piece of paper that's been wrinkled. So, you know, give it a little bit of a tear, maybe edge up the outside, but don't just go for the wrinkle because that's not going to necessarily age it. It will just, like I said, make it look wrinkled. Okay. And then we're going to add some more adhesive. And then I don't necessarily want this big of a border, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it now that I have it glued down. And I use this edge as my guide. Because all I want is just a little bit of a border. Okay. Now we're ready to go ahead and figure out the placement here. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this little girl with her dog. And that will work. All right, so we'll put this more towards the top right. Okay. Again, I'm just adding some more adhesive. And you can see how easily this card is coming together. Not a lot of effort at all. And you can easily pop this up if you wanted to as well, which I think I will, just to give it a little bit of height. And I'm going to go ahead and just use some foam dots that I have here to pop her up. Now, all of the products that I'm using I will list in the description below, so that way you can kind of see exactly what I'm using for this card. And I'll also make this value of a friend digital image available to you as well as a freebie. So I will leave the code for that in the description box as well, along with the link to the shop. So if you do want to go ahead and download this value of a friend digital, you can go ahead and do that from my shop. All right, so I'm just removing the backings of these foam dots, and we'll go ahead and place her strategically just to make sure we have our sentiment showing. All right, and then finally I'm going to go ahead and use some of this lace just to finish it off. And I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. Let's see. Okay. And I'm just going to tie it. I'm not necessarily concerned about this January here. So I'm going to just tie this to create a nice little bow. And you can use trim, you can use lace. There's lots of things out there that will make a card look old. And I'll also make sure that I have this lace available in the shop. So if you don't have any vintage lace, you can grab some of this as well to use for some of your vintage cards. All right, so let's trim this down. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and add some brads here. Let's see. Let's see here. That'd be cute, wouldn't it? I think I'll just stick with the brads. So actually I think I'll just leave that as it is. All right, and then the last thing we need to do is just add it to the base of your card. So let's go ahead and do that. And then once we get added, if you wanted to add one more type of an embellishment, we can use some of the word stickers from Tim Holtz, and we'll see if anything will work with that. But like I'm showing you, there's lots of options for an easy vintage inspired card. And that's it. So as you can see, this was really easy to put together for a vintage inspired card that you can easily give to a friend and make their day. Now don't forget, this is a video hop, so I will leave the link for the next hopper below in my description box. And don't forget to leave a comment for your chance to win one of the prizes in this hop. All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.